Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? My life as a motherless son. There are so many things that you have to go through, as a motherless son, motherless daughter. It really don't matter. I mean, I'm just a motherless son, but there are motherless daughters out here as well, and everybody's going through the same type of thing. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter when it happened. It happens, and it affects us all, regardless. Mine happened to happen when I was like 7 years old. My sister was actually 4 years old at the time, so she don't even know her at all, and I barely know her myself. So it affects us. Then you have the people that grew up with their mother their whole life, and then when they like a teenager or in their 20s, mid 20s, something happened and their mother passed on, so they feel the effects of being with somebody so long and then losing them, and then like me, losing them so early and I never had them. So it doesn't really matter when it happens in your life or your age. It's still gonna be the same. It's still gonna affect you the same. It's still gonna be a problem, and dealing with it is a constant thing. It's a constant because uh, I'm not saying putting one above the other. When it comes to mother and father, I'm not putting one above the other. But only thing I'm saying is, that's the person who brought you in the world, so to speak. I mean, yeah, it can't be done without the father. But what I'm saying is, that's the person who birthed you. They birthed you, so you always it's a different type of connection that you have with the person who brought you in this world. Uh, and then to lose them at a young age or lose them at a older age, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be painful, and you try to find ways to deal with it. You try to find ways to cope with it, and it can be very detrimental if you don't find the right way to cope with it. Like maybe seeking therapy is a good way to go about it. You know, just going through the realization of this is what happened. This is something that I have to accept, right? Instead of fighting against it, like we typically want to do, we want to fight against it, and all the pain that comes with it. It can lead you to a lot of bad things. For me as a kid, when I was growing up, it led me to a lot of bad situations. I was really acting out. I mean, I didn't think I was acting out, but looking back on it, that's what it was. Plus, with me, I had to go stay with foster parents because at the time my father wasn't ready for the responsibility. He came around and did what he's supposed to do, but right away, as far as I know, he wasn't ready at that time. So being with foster parents, I don't even know these people at all. I don't know them. I never met them, and here I am having to go stay with them because of what was going on with my situation. I guess this is something that they had worked out prior to my mother's passing, but it wasn't a good situation for me or my sister. At least I didn't feel like it was because this was sprung on us. We had no option. We had no choice. We had to go there. And the environment was just not good enough for me. I didn't like the environment. Um, I even tried to, run away with my sister. We got caught or whatever. I'm not gonna get into all of that right now. That's for a later time. But everybody go through stuff. Everybody has their ways of dealing with stuff. Because it's not easy when you lose a parent, especially when you lose a mother, which is what I'm specifically talking about here. It's just difficult. And I've seen the comments I had on the other videos, and it just wasn't. It's you can see where people struggle with this, and they're still struggling. And I don't know if they will continue to struggle or not, but I know that it's not a good thing. And I guess for those who lose their mother when they're older, I think it affects them more. I think it affects them more than it affected me when I lost mine so young. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint it. I don't know if it did or not, but it seemed like it would. At least that's what it seemed like to me. It just seemed like it would be worse. I could be wrong. I mean, I know what my struggles are or were and still are, but I guess their struggles would be worse because they had this person up into their mid 20s or 30s or whatever, and then they lose them. Even if they in their 50s and 60s and they lose their mother, I'm sure it'll be still hard because you're so connected with this person and you've been with them for so long. Versus me, Well, I only been with mine, when people start remembering things, what, like 5, 6, 7 years old. But, that was my experience. So I didn't really have the same experience as most people, but that was mine. Um, but it was hard growing up. You grew up, and most people, at least in my community, being black, I don't know if it's a black thing, but I guess everybody's dealing with the same stuff, similar stuff. But like for me, growing up where I grew up at, it was a lot of single mothers, right? So it was very different to see me growing up with a single father. Like my father was a single father. He took care of us. And that was strange, to look around and see that and see how these young boys used to disrespect their mom so much. And I think the only reason why they were disrespecting her because there was no father figure around. Because kids typically don't disrespect fathers because fathers have a little more sternness about them or whatever. But I saw that and I was like, wow, he just disrespected his mom just like that. And then I would think about myself, like, man, if he knew what could really happen, like if he lost his mom tomorrow, would he still feel like that? Would he still be disrespectful if he knew that this could be all over? And I think sometimes people take it for granted, that they got a parent or if they got both parents. And I don't blame them for taking it for granted. They just can't. They just don't understand. It's because they got both parents. They always had both parents, or they got their mother. They never been without their mother. It's normal to be without a father, but to be without a mother is not typically normal. I didn't meet many kids that I grew up with that didn't have a mother. And when I say didn't have a mother, I'm talking about mothers no longer on this earth, like they done passed away. I think I met like one kid that was that way, and other people that at least their dad might not have been in the household, but they had a dad that was alive. So, it's just the way it is. But all I'm saying is, man, take nothing for granted and respect your parent or parents because, it don't always mean that they're gonna be here all the time. You never know when they're gonna go. And if you see a young kid that's going through these type of things, man, be compassionate, be understanding. If that kid is going through something, you know their background, you know what they've been through, you know what they're going through, have some compassion for that. Because that kid is not really a bad kid. They're just going through some bad times and they need somebody. Kids need somebody. I mean, adults do too, but I'm saying adults typically, when they get grown, they typically don't react or make mistakes like that. But if they do, as an adult, that's different. But as a kid with a not fully developed mind and they going through these things, have some compassion. Have some compassion. But that's all I want to say for tonight. And I'm gonna try to keep making more videos talking about these things. And maybe you are going through it, and maybe you can talk to me, and we can talk to each other, and we can make this work, and we can heal those that need to be healed, and we can go into bigger and better things. All right. To the next time. To the next time. Take care of yourself. I see you around. My life as a motherless son.